Well, I have with me Professor Swart, in the Professor of Dietetics and Nutrition at the University of the Western Cape. And you are very interested in sugar tax, which was introduced in 2018. What kind of impact, Prof. Swart, and thank you for joining us, what kind of impact has the sugar tax had on the fiscus?
Thank you very much for having me. The sugar tax, maybe I should just point out first of all, the introduction of the sugar tax has not been to fill the coffers of government. That is a bonus, but the purpose of the health promotion levy is in actual fact to part of a strategy of the Department of Health to prevent and control obesity and non-communicable diseases. It has had the effect that significant money has been added to the coffers, more than 3 billion, and over 2 years it's expected to be about 5.4 billion rand, and that should cover a significant component of our healthcare cost, yes.
And certainly in times of COVID, with comorbidities such as diabetes, obesity, putting people at high risk, now would possibly be a good time to dissuade people from their sugar intake.
Yes. Sugar intake is definitely associated with obesity and the rise in obesity that we have seen so far if we look at the history of sales in these kind of products. And the interesting thing with sugar is that it's not an essential nutrient. Our bodies can actually convert most foods into energy. So we don't need only sugar as our energy source, but half of our sugar intake are actually coming from sweetened beverages. And that's the kind of excessive intake of sugar that we would like to reduce.
Because empty calories, really.
It's empty calories, yes. And it would contribute to obesity, which leads on to non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, oral health, poor oral health, tooth decay and consequences of that, hypertension. And that has got a huge cost in terms of healthcare cost for government, because the majority of the population are in the low-income bracket and depend on government to provide in their healthcare.
Tell me what you're hoping the minister will announce today in terms of sugar tax.
Well, we're hoping that he will announce the increase to around about 20% taxation. At the moment, it is around 11% because of the 4 grams per 100 gram sugar kind of gap that is allowed. So we're hoping that he would either decrease that gap or that he would put it at the original planning of 20%.
Thank you so much. That's Professor Swart there talking to us from the University of the Western Cape, the Department of Dietetics and Nutrition, about sugar tax, which has put a few billion rand into the coffers already, which goes straight to the health department, which would be probably a good time right now in terms of COVID and comorbidities and this sort of increase in obesity and diabetes not being good in terms of a possible third wave of COVID. And the professor saying there that she would like sugar tax to increase from 11% to 20%.
We'll have to wait and see, Annika, what's going to happen tonight. I'm sure she's going to be watching that part of the budget speech very closely this afternoon. Thank you very much, Annika Larsen, my colleague there, ETV